Hi, welcome to We Are Cosmic Nature, the podcast. My name is Kelsey, and today I'm sharing with you a conversation with a wonderful human, Emma, who I actually connected with recently. And we really just clicked on this topic of mudra on this podcast. If you've been listening, you know I love to share tips and tools and wisdom around how to live a happier, healthier, more aligned and fulfilled life as a cosmic being here on Earth. And I believe Emma really has some really cool wisdom to share with you about how to do just that. So, if you've ever heard of mudra, you may have heard it in the sense of meditation and yoga, which really is, yes, what we're talking about. But it's pretty amazing and powerful stuff. So I am excited for you to hear about it, and I hope that this resonates with you and you can check out her offerings and wisdom around yoga, meditation, mudra, and yeah, enjoy this conversation, enjoy this episode as much as I did. And if you can, head to the YouTube version where you can watch a video. I could put the video version here on the platform, but I think it's only available through Spotify. So I want to make sure it's just inclusive of everyone. So just head to the YouTube if you want to see the video version where she shares visuals of how to do these mudras. She explains to the best that she can, but there will be a little bit more to it on the YouTubes as well. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I have a beautiful soul here, Emma, with me to have a conversation about a handful of things, but mostly we want to talk about mudra. And Emma and I connected really recently. She reached out to me on social media and offered to have a conversation and share her wisdom around yoga, meditation, mudra, and I was honored to bring her in. So Emma, welcome. Thank you for initiating this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelsey. I'm so excited to be here. And yeah, I love that we connected recently, and I have been listening to your podcast for a little while. And I just felt really drawn to you. You're very you've got a lovely, beautiful presence, and I love your podcast. I love how you unpack astrology in such a beautiful and easy to understand and practical way. And I did mention, I've also a bit of a astrology geek, I guess, but I'm a little rusty. But I did study it. I had a teacher, Bob Hunter, for 7 years. He's a Sydney-based astrologer, so I feel like I've got a good understanding, but not, it's a bit rusty. When you don't use it, it goes a bit. So, and yeah, the reason just to reach out was I just felt there's this really beautiful connection to explore between mudra and astrology. So I'm just so happy that you saw that too. And we're here today.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's so perfect, actually. And I did look at your website, I think it was. But remind me, I feel like I saw, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you have Gemini in your chart? Like a prominent Gemini?
Yeah. Yes, I've got Gemini Sun,
Yeah.
Gemini Rising, and Sagittarius Moon.
Yeah.
So yeah, so very mercurial and need a lot of grounding. I don't have a lot of earth in my chart. So yeah, practices like mudra and meditation and breath work are just incredibly important for my astrology. Counterbalance.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's so interesting. And I was because I was thinking about about you earlier today. I'm like, I swear she has Gemini. Like, just also the inspiration to connect and have a conversation. Like, I'm like, there's definitely some Gemini energy there, and I can relate to having that air in your chart and needing the grounding practices and ways to get into your body and find stillness. And yeah, it's that air quality is great and helps us to focus and connect, but yeah, we need to ground it out sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, awesome. No,
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Yeah, we definitely connect. My south node is in Gemini, and I have a lot of planets in Sagittarius, so yeah, our energy is working well together today.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I wanted to start just with a bit of an introduction. How did you find yourself in today in this place where you are sharing about mudra practices? And if you could give us a little bit of a journey there, I'd be so curious to hear.
Sure. Yeah. Look, I've always, I think, like you, been really interested in the deeper mysteries of this life and this world from a really young age. And uh, I think, yeah, there's a bit of a story. I'll try and keep it as brief as possible.
Mhm.
In 1995, I found a spiritual school, and this school has a focus on meditation work. And so when I found that school, I started really working with meditation, and I made it a daily practice, and it's a daily practice to this day. And that work includes breathing as well. It's such a core part of meditation, and finding stillness in your mind, and then expanding into that stillness, and then trying to take that into your day. Like that's really the principle of the work that I've been involved in for all that time. But alongside that, I was in corporate world, and I was working in marketing and communications, very Gemini career,
Mhm. Mhm.
and graphic design as well. And so, those jobs have been good, but there was always something missing, even though I had this meditation work happening alongside it. It was like I'd always been really interested in yoga as
Mhm.
well. And since I was a kid, again, my mum used to take me to the yoga classes she used to go to. And as a kid, I remember it was the first time I've really experienced total all being peace
Mm.
at the end, like during Shavasana. And it was a new experience. It was like a different way of experiencing myself and the world. And, it might have just been for a moment, but it planted a seed. That's the way I like to look at it. And it was only when I came to the meditation work that I remembered that feeling that I had all those years back in those yoga classes. And it's like they connected. It's like the meditation brought me back to that place. And I was like, I've been looking for this. So I just had this real wish to always become a yoga teacher, but life happened. You have to earn money and all of that. And I got a bit off track. And so finally I found a yoga course I could fit into my actual uh, life,
Mhm.
because I was looking for years for one, and it just nothing aligned. And suddenly, like literally the stars aligned, and I found a course I could do while I was working. So halfway through that yoga training, I got really sick.
Mm.
And I wasn't able to do my daily meditation practice. I wasn't able to even really brush my teeth some days.
Mhm.
And that's when the world of mudra really opened up. And so that was really the silver lining of that period of not being able to do asana practice. And I was like, how am I going to even finish my yoga course? I just didn't know. But I did finish the course. But so I just kind of went down this rabbit hole, and I was researching, and I was just reading everything I could and working with Mudra as well. And it made a difference. And that's why I love it. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I want to share it with more people, because it helped me in those really dark times. It helped my mental health. It helped, I believe, my healing. Of course, I fully believe in Western medicine too, alongside, but it's like the mudra made the difference. It sort of helped me climb out of that hole, get back on track. And it's like, I really feel mudra is just such a beautiful thing to work with on its own, um, or in a meditation practice. And the experience of it is just can be really incredible. So that's my journey. And then, then I started my little business, Love Breath Space, and that was really just creating a platform to share these ancient tools, breath, meditation, yoga, and mudra, and make them modern, like put them, like, how do we use them in this world that is pretty out of control? How can we kind of soften our experience and move more into our life with more peace, more calm? That helps other people too. We have a flow-on effect. People respond to that. So that's where it's all at right now.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you. That's so beautiful. I'm with you on, being on that mission to bring more peace and joy and ease into our lives, because our lives are just so busy. And, yoga, meditation, breath work, these tools are so available. If we, generally speaking, we all have lungs, so if we can, expand and just breathe, just starting with the breath can be so transformative. And yeah, I want to dive even deeper into all these angles, but I'm so intrigued by your passion with mudra, and I don't know that everyone listening knows what that is. So I'd love for you to expand a little bit on how would you define mudra, and yeah, how do we use it in our daily life?
Yeah, yes. Well, firstly, mudra comes under the broader heading of yoga, and it sits within it. It's a practice within yoga. And maybe I should start at the beginning and talk about yoga, because I think we all know what yoga is, right? But the word itself means to yoke, and that means to bring together. And so the ultimate goal of doing these beautiful practices that come under the heading of yoga, like meditation and asana and breathing and mudra, is to really help us find and feel that incredible inner flame, inner spark, that individual self, that really pure expression of who we are, and merge that with a cosmic consciousness. So that is the aim. It's pretty incredible. And of course, some of us just go to yoga to get a great body, and that's fine. That can be what yoga is for you. But the kind of side effect of working with yoga is that person trying to get a great toned body might start wanting to explore who they are more just through practicing yoga. It might bring them to that, or it may not, and that's okay. So mudra is a tool in the yoga toolbox, I guess, that is working with the hands. And the hands hold energy. Every finger holds a different energy. Every finger links to a different chakra. Every finger even has a planetary energy, which is interesting. And it also has an element. And so when we're joining different fingers together, it's activating different channels. It's linking different pathways together in our physical body. And that is giving us an experience of, could be healing, or it could be spiritual growth. Like, they're very multifaceted, but so they link with channels like meridians, or in yoga we call them nadis, and there's some 72,000 nadis in the body. So there's a lot of channels to link with. And so the beauty of mudra is that they're so simple to use, and the more you use them, the more sensitive you become to the energy of what they're doing for you.
So having that practice, I've heard of, a yoga practice. You can do yoga once and that's great and helpful, but having that consistency can really help you to tune into, how the body is feeling, how the mind is moving. And it seems like mudra is specifically taking it deeper and working with the hands.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Yeah. Today we're focusing, I'll just clarify, on hasta mudras, which are hand mudras, because there are actually other mudras you can do with different parts of the body. But the ones that I'm interested in are to do with hands. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I've explored different styles of yoga, Kundalini, probably most recently, which I really put on pause since I got pregnant, but, they talk a lot about mudra as like positioning, like how you're positioning yourself. Is that sort of what mudra means? Is it something about like how you're physically forming your body or your hands?
Yeah, look, that's interesting. I've not heard it presented like that,
Okay.
but it doesn't mean it's not totally correct. But yes, I mean, it is about how you're bringing something together to activate. To activate. I think
Okay.
that would probably describe it, but yeah.
No, that's English is kind of a limiting language sometimes. So yeah, no worries. And then if anyone's watching the video, I mean, like, can you show an example of a mudra with your hands?
Yeah, sure. I think, one that, well, there's a few that do get used quite regularly in yoga classes, but there's generally only a couple, I think, that I really come across in yoga classes. I hope that will change, but one really beautiful one that I think everyone would know is Jnana Mudra, which is bringing together the thumb tip and the index fingertip and just relaxing the other fingers. And this mudra it's a real go-to. It's so easy to do. I do this all the time. Like, I literally do it when I'm in a shopping center or shopping mall.
Yes.
Yeah, I do it just while I'm walking around. I didn't even know I was doing it for years. And then I realized, I'm like, what am I doing with my hands? And then I realized I was taking this mudra, and I realized why I was doing it. And that was to protect myself from all the, frenetic energy that was in that space. Because I get quite affected, being an air sign, by crowds and noise. And this brings me back to my center, this mudra, and it grounds me, and it feels like I'm putting a layer of protection around me when I do this one. And this one actually connects to the solar plexus and the heart center. So, if you work with this one in, say, a meditation, it's all about coming in touch with intuition and your heart, what your wishes and dreams are, and having a more heart-centered approach. So the more you work with it, the more you can tune into that energy. But you can also just use it like in a shopping center.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I I was sharing with you through voice note on Instagram that I think, yeah, I've also been working with Mudra for a long time, since I was a kid, and putting my hands in certain positions, and I do it now. I mean, I know what it is. I don't necessarily know why I'm doing it, and maybe as much as you do in terms of what each mudra can help you with. But I do it. Like, I might hold my hands like this, or like this, or whatever it is, or and even, in my sort of yoga meditation in the morning, like, different hands, and I'm like, it just feels good. There's just something about it. I don't know, I guess it's intuitive, but the energy is moving differently than if I wasn't doing it.
So beautiful,
Yeah.
Kelsey. And I think that's a really beautiful point you're making, because my belief is, having worked with them for quite a while, is that the body knows how to heal itself, right? We're always returning into a state of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And mudra is the same. It's like your body is telling you, you need to do this at,
Mm-hmm.
this particular gesture right now, because that's going to help you in that moment. And it doesn't matter if it's not a documented mudra, what you're doing, it doesn't matter. It's still valid and still helpful. And I believe in creating your own. Your body is telling you that. And
Mm-hmm.
I see people doing mudra all the time, like out in the world. And once you start learning a bit about them, you're going to see people doing them on TV. Newsreaders often do Hakini mudra.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you will start seeing it. It's
Yeah.
really interesting. And that particular mudra is the mudra of focus. And
Mm.
often we see people just and it's very simple to describe to the listeners. It's just putting all your fingertips together in a sort of a pyramid shape,
Mm-hmm.
and holding, it's like a space in between your fingers. And that is incredible if you're trying to remember something. People use that mudra in memory training and business courses. And I mean, there's evidence that
Mm-hmm.
it brings both hemispheres of the brain together to really concentrate. And it's not just all kind of wafty, it's actual, there's evidence, there's
Mm-hmm.
science behind some of these postures.
Mm-hmm.
So the body knows, the body's amazing.
It totally is. The body is incredible, and I think we're really coming into a time now where, yeah, quote unquote science and spirituality are really just blending, and just different ways of explaining the same thing. um, like, it's this, okay, it's woo, maybe it sounds woo or something, that you can use your hands to move energy, but like, also, yes, that is the fact. Like, we are energetic beings, and there's something to all parts of ourselves. And yeah, this goes back to ancient times. And yeah, I mean, how you said pyramid shape. I mean, what's with the pyramids? That's a whole other thing. Like, and if we can make these shapes with our body and with our hands, like, there's got to be something to it. I find that so fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I
Yeah.
know. It's
And
really mind expanding, like when you delve into it. It's the same with astrology, though, like it's just, it's one of these incredible ancient sciences. And, these are beautiful tools that are there to help us ultimately,
mm-hmm.
so we can like navigate our life in a better
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm curious, I want to ask you, can you see energy? Like, can you see the difference maybe? Or do you more just feel it in yourself?
I think for me it's more feeling.
Mm-hmm.
and and the more I've worked with mudra, I think I said, the quicker that energy shift
Mm-hmm.
comes. some mudra are quite elusive. You know, some take a bit longer, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't keep working with them as well. Like, I think if you're not quite tuning in, I think persist and see, because it's also said in one of the beautiful books I read by Gertrude Hershey. She says that she's written a beautiful book on mudras if anyone is interested in diving in a bit deeper. She talks about how some mudra can actually make you feel really tired, and that can be a sign that the mudra is actually working. And my view and understanding on that is that and my own experience of that is with meditation. And when I first started meditating, I was so tired. Like, I had to have a nap, you know, straight away. And it took quite a long time to get through that. And my feeling is that I was just running on adrenaline. You know, I was just in fight or flight mode. And I didn't know until I tried to slow down. And meditation is slowing down. And I think with mudra, it's a similar, perhaps slightly gentler experience of that, because they're just quite subtle. They're powerful and subtle at the same time. So if you're feeling tired doing a mudra, I think you're really actually tuning in to a tiredness in yourself. You know, your parasympathetic nervous system is actually slowing down and showing you need to keep working like this. Be helpful for you over time to find more balance in yourself. Because I think half the time we don't even know that we need to slow down, that would be good for us. You know, like when you go on a holiday, you can feel so tired for the first week or so. And that's the body just going, I am tired. Like, give me a break, you know? And so this work is trying to counteract that as we're living. So when we go on that holiday, we're not so tired. We've got a more even, balanced energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really about bringing this, well, maybe into your daily life, something simple, you know, a meditation or some yoga or yoga with mudra. I'm sure you have lots of tools and tips around how to incorporate it, but I do want to add to something you said and relate to it, and I'm sure someone else can too. But it was 2020 when I finally like committed to, you know, doing some quote unquote self work and just like meditating for longer. And oh my gosh, I napped so much in 2020 and 2021. It was like I thought there was something wrong, you know? It was like I'm just so tired all the time. And every time I tried to meditate, I'd fall asleep. Even if I was sitting up, I would fall asleep. And yeah, you're right. It really is like the body is just, okay, hey, she's sitting down for a minute. Let's rest, right? So it's so interesting.
It is really, I'm so glad that wasn't just my experience. I'm
No.
so interested to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be our well, I mean, you worked in the corporate world and all that. So I think just the busyness of life, right? And then finally, once we rest, it's like
yeah,
the
exactly.
body gets a big exhale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, so what I guess I would be curious to hear, how would you encourage someone to start with mudra and or yoga or breathing? What are your sort of go-to practices that you suggest to people?
Yeah, look, a few things. And I think the first thing is to keep it really simple. I think the last thing we want to do is be adding a stress. You know, I must do this. I must fit this in. Like, our lives, everyone's life is full enough. So I really feel making a small effort every day is valuable if you can, you know. Some days might just be, it just may not work, and that's okay. And I think don't be hard on yourself. And, but I do also believe that over time, consistency is the key, really. And then when you come to sit on your meditation cushion, you just drop in quicker, you know, because you've got all this work behind you. You've got this muscle memory, so to speak, and it is like a muscle. It's like the more you use it, the stronger and easier it becomes to practice. And that could be yoga, that could be meditation, it could be breath work, it could be mudra. And I think, you know, I mean, there's so many apps, there's so many tools out there, and it's about finding someone that you intuitively and, you know, someone you resonate with, someone you connect with. Could just be a YouTube person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just think there's so much out there, and I think just find just one person that, you know, can help you with this, and one person that you resonate with that, and start small. And I know, you know, it's been said that morning is a really beautiful time to practice these sort of um, uh, this work. And it's a time, particularly when you first wake up, because you're sort of in this dreamy state where your mind hasn't started kind of going through all the things you need to get through in the day, and you're still kind of half in a bit of a dream state. The body's waking up. So if you can, if that's available to you, I think meditating first thing, like as soon as you wake up, before you do anything, is a really good time to meditate, because you're already just a little bit softer in yourself. And you know, that may not be possible, and any other time is also good, but a lot of these sort of practices are done traditionally in all over the world in the morning, you know, particularly in the East. And my meditation teacher also encouraged us to sit in meditation before bed, because then you're going into that dream state again with a bit of a different mindset, for want of a better word. You know, you're entering into sleep in a quieter space in yourself. And as far as yoga, I mean, I think you fit that in when you can, but again, you know, it just has to work in with your lifestyle. And there's also mudra, which is something you can explore in meditation. And I think with mudra, you start with one or two gestures, and perhaps jnana mudra, the one we talked about initially, where we just bring the thumb and the index finger together. You know, that's a beautiful one to use in meditation with both hands. Just resting on your thighs. That's a beautiful place to start. And then you might use that for a week, see how that feels, and then you might try another one. And there's so many ways you can find out what mudra to use on Google.
Yeah.
So there's so many. And I think, you know, and feel what it's doing to you, but in a really playful way. Like, I really feel these practices need to be playful and light and not too serious. Otherwise, it takes away from them. Another beautiful meditation is dhyana mudra, and that is actually the mudra of meditation. So that is also a really good one to use during your meditation practice. And we're simply just bringing our hands over one another with the palms facing up, and we bring the thumb tips to touch. And we're sort of creating like a bowl shape. And this is very, you know, Buddhist monks use this one, and this is one of my favorites. definitely, because it is so calming. It's so
I was just gonna say that. This feels so grounding.
I use this one this is my go-to in my meditation practice.
Mm,
And amazingly, in the school I'm a part of, half the people there sit in meditation using this mudra. And I'm sure they wouldn't know that it's a mudra, but it's like we were saying earlier, the hands know
mm.
what will support you in that moment. So it's quite interesting. I was doing Dhyana Mudra for years before knowing it was a mudra too. And I'm sure you probably have. I'm sure people can relate to this if they're listening.
Yeah. I've seen my partner do it when he's meditating, and yeah, I spoke to him recently. I'm like about our conversation that was coming up, and yeah, he was like, yeah, I do that. I'm like, yeah, it's so interesting, right? Like it's intuitive and supportive, and I feel like it also could be helpful as a point of focus too. Like just even if for me, I don't know, I'm a visual person, so I would visualize it, I think, in my mind. And maybe that's helpful as an anchor because my mind goes crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can
Yeah.
also use visualization. Like you don't even have to do the mudra. You
Hmm.
could visualize the mudra. Obviously some situations you can't use all the mudras because people will think you're insane, but you could visualize the mudra, and that
Hmm.
can help to bring you back to those experiences you've had in meditation
Hmm.
using
Yeah.
that mudra. Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. And I guess in your experience, how has mudra enhanced or transformed your life, if at all?
Yeah, well, we covered off earlier. For me, it's a grounding practice. I really need it.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly helpful for meditation
Mm-hmm.
and also for accessing higher realms, of being, of feeling, and also for healing. And there are particular ones that are really quite potent for healing. And yeah, I think, when you're looking at astrology, astrology is all about, the cosmic influences on us. And I think mudra can help you work with facing whatever, what's happening because of those cosmic influences. So
Mm,
mudra is like a tool that you can use to move through with more ease, more flow.
mm,
So
mm-hmm.
it's a way to work with what's happening. Like we've just had this incredible supermoon, which has been so enormous.
Right.
And waking my cat up at like 3:30 in the morning, and it's just been, yeah, like it's powerful. And so it's like, how do we work with, that energy? And there are mudras that can help, which, I can talk about um if you like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was gonna ask that actually, like how do we know what mudra to use and when, and maybe, yeah, given the full moon we just had, like what mudra would be good for that energy, or maybe being in Leo season. Like I'm so curious what you've noticed.
Yes. Yeah, because it's been great preparing for this chat, because it's really made me think about these things. And so I've actually been using a couple of mudras at this
Mm-hmm.
really potent full moon. And one of them is a really beautiful, just kind of good to work with general mudra. And it's called Sahasrara. And basically all you're doing is you're putting your thumbs together and your index fingers together, and you're creating like a sort of a diamond shape. Kind of like when you're a kid. I don't know. It makes me feel
Yeah.
like a kid doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you hold it about 6 inches or so above your head. And it's a really beautiful mudra to use at any season. And what you do is you actually use it outside. So you can use it in the early morning when the sun's not too strong. And you actually, if you can, face toward the sun or the sky, and you are absorbing the energy of the sun, the solar energies through your hands of the daylight into your body. And you're imagining that energy flowing all the way through you. And that is quite activating because, you know, the sun is a very active force, fire energy. So if you feel a bit low, you know, it might be like a new moon. So that might be a nice way to bring a bit more energy into you. And alternatively, you can practice that same mudra at night and bring the lunar energies into your hands. And my husband and I, we've been doing it the last couple nights, and it's been really beautiful because it's very much brings you back to your senses. Because when you're outside, you're feeling the air on your hands and you're seeing the stars, and you're just kind of feel this oneness with the whole cosmos. Like, it is a beautiful mudra. So if you practice it at night, it's more calming because, you know, traditionally lunar energies have a calming influence on us. Cancer, mother, all those kind of things. So that's a beautiful all-round mudra. But particularly for the full moon, Pushpaputa mudra is incredible. And that means in Sanskrit, a handful of flowers. And we are literally bringing our hands together in a sort of an offering pose and imagining that we actually have a handful of flowers. And the idea of that is that we're offering those flowers to a divine presence. So we're just sitting in meditation and we are giving up. We are letting go because, you know, the full moon is many things. And part of it is we're letting go of what no longer serves us, and so we can move into a whole new cycle. But we're also celebrating, and we're celebrating all the achievements of the past month and all the things we've done, all the things that we've hoped and dreamed for that have come to fruition. So this mudra, Pushpaputa mudra, is all about offering and receiving, so, and celebrating. So we're letting go, we're celebrating with this beautiful handful of flowers, and we're saying thank you. It's a pose of gratitude, and it's a pose of what's next, you know, and let's hope it's really good. And this is, so it's such a beautiful mudra to do at the full moon. Yeah, so I've really been enjoying working with that one. And just to go look back a bit to a new moon, Prana mudra is also a good mudra for new moon, because Prana mudra is all about energy, you know, and at a new moon where we want a bit more energy, and we want to go within, and we want to look at what we want to manifest over that coming month. So Prana mudra, it's quite amazing. I use this one as well, you know, around 3 o'clock when you want chocolate, when your energy kind of flags. You know, you want a coffee, but coffee you can't have because you won't sleep. So it's like you're looking for chocolate, and I'm, you know, trying to be better with all of that.
No
Anyway,
problem.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, all
So
good, whatever.
yeah, thank you. I'm trying to get off the coffee, and I'm better with chocolate, much better. So so I usually would go for carob, and that's the truth, I promise. But yes, it's been quite a transition. So prana mudra can help you in those moments. And we're bringing together the thumb and the little finger and the ring finger, and
Mm,
putting the tips of those together. Do you know this mudra?
I
It's
do
really,
it. I
yeah,
do it
okay.
sometimes.
And you were saying, sometimes earlier you were saying, I think I saw you put your thumb on top of those fingertips. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's another way of doing the mudra. I don't tend to practice it that way, but it might feel better for some people to practice with the thumb on top of the little finger and the ring finger, or you can just bring the tips together, which is what I do. I find that a bit more comfortable. But it's a really activating mudra. Like I feel that instantly. I kind of feel
Mm,
energized, and then
hmm.
don't need the chocolate. So it's
Yeah.
good.
Oh my gosh, this is so,
Yeah.
I mean, this is why I was so excited to have this conversation with you, because like I knew I was, well, knew but didn't know until we kind of got the conversation started. I'm like, I am doing those. Like, um, so
It's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah. I
it
think that
feels like,
must have been why I wanted to connect with you. Like it was so amazing when you said, I do mudra. I'm like, oh my goodness, because not a lot of people even know about it. So
yeah, yeah.
incredible.
No, that one makes me feel like my eyes are wider. Like
Yeah.
there's something
Yeah.
about it, like I don't know if they actually physically are or what, but it's like, yeah,
Interesting.
so cool. So cool.
Yeah. And that one, it activates the root chakra, and it's like it's lighting a fire. That's the way to imagine what it's doing. But you can feel it. You can actually feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, well, I'm so excited for hopefully people to explore this and um try some of the mudra we spoke about, and um yeah, and just again the simple tool. I mean, if you have hands, or maybe even you just want to visualize it, but like this
Yeah.
is accessible, we really can be our own healers and shifters of our own energy. We don't have to necessarily go for the coffee and chocolate, even though we love it, but yeah, just simply
Yeah.
working with energy and attention and focus as can
Yep.
just shift your day.
That's right. And then eventually, we won't be going for the coffee and chocolate. We'll be going for the chai and the carob. And you know what? There's really good chai and there's really good carob. Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I yeah, I chocolate. It's in the fridge, so it's fine. Um, oh no, this is so good. Well, yeah, I mean, gosh, I feel like we could literally talk forever about all of this. And I want to continue the conversation with you and dive down other avenues as well. But I would love if you could share with people maybe where they can get started learning with this. I know I did download actually your mudra guide, but maybe I'll let you share a little bit about, yeah, what you can offer, and how people can connect with you and learn more.
Thanks, Kelsey. I've actually got a mudra oracle deck that I've
Mm,
created. Yeah, with my husband. We worked on it together. He's a really good artist, and we both, we love we both created the art together,
mhm.
and it's been a beautiful passion project, and it's going to be published later this year through Blue Angel, which is really exciting. Like I'm truly excited for myself to have this.
Yes.
It sounds kind of selfish, but it's a
No.
great way to, work with mudra, because you can shuffle cards and then you can pick one, and then you can let the card deck tell you which mudra is good for you at that moment. And then you can really activate the guidance by trying the mudra. So I'm really hoping people will get something from that. And so that's coming out later this year, which is exciting. And then I'm starting a meditation mudra circle, a live online group, and that will be in October, and we'll explore meditation techniques that I've worked with, and we'll also look at a different mudra or mudras every monthly session. So that's something else. And I'm also working on creating a course, which I'm hoping to launch early next year. So there's information and like you said, there's a free download that can get you started, a 101 guide on mudra. And all of that is available on my website, which is lovebreathspace.com. So yeah, and of course, if anyone's got any questions, there's contact information on my website, and I'd love to chat.
Oh, thank you so much. That sounds great. I'm like, I'll have a newborn in October, so I'm not sure if I can attend, but I might have to squeeze into one of your classes there, because that sounds really, really nice. And an oracle deck, like, oh, so good to follow your passions and the inspiration and create and share your wisdom. I'm so excited for all these things, and we definitely have to keep our eyes peeled.
Yes, for sure. And best wishes to you for a very exciting time ahead for your baby in October.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Need lots of calming mudras.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me and Babe will mudra together. Oh yeah, well, thank you so much, Emma, and yeah, I'm excited for people to connect with you as well.
Thank you, Kelsey. Thanks for this beautiful chat. Really enjoyed it.